over here. So yeah, that was seed sowing of salad leaf that had some red lettuce in it. You would please know, Jenny. Spring onions and radish. And really, within a matter of weeks, that box was ready to harvest. And you know, you can sow every 10 days, every 10 days to 2 weeks, and you would have a fresh supply every throughout the summertime. Just to show how quickly the seeds do germinate at this time of the year, this is a salad leaf that I sowed last Friday, the 31st of May, and already you can see the seedlings are already popping up, and you probably just can't see it, but you can see the little white roots coming out the bottom. And these are radish. Again, you can actually see the wee white fibrous roots coming out. So that tells me that the roots are starting to develop, but they're still needing a wee bit, another 4 or 5 days in here to ensure that the roots are starting to fully develop before I prick them out and pot them on. So that's some seeds just to have a wee look at. But the first thing I'm going to plant up is this one here, which are carrots. Now, these carrots I didn't sow myself. I've bought these out of a garden centre in a section here. And I like carrots in my salad. Carrots in my coleslaw, or just even some grated carrots over my salady stuff. Or I even just finally chop up the carrot and have it, you know, chopped through with some peppers and things like that. If you're making up a salsa, adding in some fresh carrots is really tasty. So I'm going to grow a box of carrots here. So what I have is, now I'm not putting my gloves on because I'm terrible at not putting my gloves on. So please always make sure you put your gloves on. So I've got my box, similar to the one that was in that video. It's a bit smaller, right enough. And I've lined it with bubble wrap. It just so happens to be lined beside it. So I thought that's the very thing for lining this box. And I've already snipped some holes in it for drainage. So this mix of compost is a bag of shop bought general purpose compost, and I've mixed it half and half with my own homemade compost that I do here. So I'm just going to fill it up. I'm just going to go a little bit quicker. Breaking up any kind of clumpier bits that I talked about in the video. These young plants don't like to have their roots disturbed, and carrots in particular really like a fine compost. Now, if I was growing competition carrots, which I won't be doing, I would be making sure that this compost was sieved, I don't know how many times, to make it as fragrable as possible. And if you speak to folks that do grow vegetables for competition, you'll find out that some people actually grow their carrots in tall barrels of sand. Carrots like their compost to be free draining, but they also like to have it moist, especially when they're getting established. So the sand does that beautifully for them. It takes a lot of remembering to water them, I'm sure, but that lovely sand, that the root, your regular carrot shaped carrot root, gets to grow all the way down into that lovely elongated shape that wins the prize for them. And I'm sure you'll all be familiar with wonky vegetables in the supermarkets or wherever, and you see the carrot that looks a wee bit like a man. He's got two wee legs and two wee hands at the side, and all that's happened there is the carrots have been growing in a soil that's been absolutely fine for them to grow in, but they've hit a wee stone or a lumpy bit, and the root that was growing in that nice pointy shape has split, and that's what creates that sort of like legged appearance of the carrot. But the carrot tastes every bit as good, so there is no point worrying about what it looks like, because we're going to cut it up anyway before we eat it. So I've not filled the compost right to the very top here. In fact, it's kind of actually below my bubble wrap as well, if you can see that. Okay. And the reason for that is when I come to water, I want to be able to water on top of the compost, and the compost isn't going to be so close to the rim of the container that the watery compost just ekes over the side. And well, that's a waste of water. The plants don't get the water that you're trying to give them, and it just makes a mess all over the patio. So there's no point. There's enough depth here for this particular variety of carrot I'm growing, because these are little round ones. This variety is called Atlas, and they grow maybe sort of like 5 centimeters, not even 5 centimeters, 4 centimeters diameter, I would say. So there's plenty of depth here for them to grow down the way. I just need to make sure that I plant them far enough apart that they've got the distance, enough space to swell up and grow. So let's just pop this label out. Here, for the time being. And then I'm just going to squeeze the root ball out. I won't let them all out just now. Slowly, gently tear them apart, untangle their carrot tops. And you know, carrot tops are edible as well. So the whole part of a carrot is edible. So all I'm doing is slowly tearing the root ball apart. So I've got one plant there. I think I've got 2 plants here. Yeah. Just gently pulling them apart. So that's 1, 2, 3. What do I have here? I've got a few in here. 3, 4 in here. 5 in here. Don't think that'll come too much. 1, 2, 3. You'll see that I'm not tearing too hard now, because I want a little bit of root to be attached to each carrot stem. And I'm doing my best to avoid holding the stems as well. I've got them draped over my hands because I don't want to snap the stem. If I snap the stem, then that's that particular plant died. It doesn't matter if 1 or 2 of the leaves get sort of damaged in the way, because there's plenty more leaves there to sustain the plant's growth through this wee sort of dodgy period of it being manhandled by us. So I'm just going to set these to the side now that I can see them all. This wee poor thing here, I'll give it a chance. It's going to get planted. And I'm going to take my dibber and I'm going to plant them in rows about 5, 6 centimeters apart. Now I don't have a dibber. A dibber is a wee sort of garden tool. It's got a wee pointy end, so you can use a pen if you wanted, just to make a hole in the compost that you're then going to pop the young seedling plant into. So I'm just going to take my pen, wiggle a hole. And as you can see, I'm holding the seedling by the leaf here and not the stem. And then I'm just going to pop that root down into the compost and firm it in like so. Next one. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Gosh, this has got a lovely root system attached to it. So I'm going to make this hole a wee bit bigger. In fact, there's actually 2 here. I'm just going to separate them out. Here. I could plant carrots all day, actually. Very therapeutic just doing it. Nice healthy one. Pop it down in as well. Make sure the root's the whole way in. And I'm doing my best to not plant the young plants further down into the compost than what they were growing in the little section. So I'm going to take this one, pop it down there. And then I'll do the same along here and create some more rows as well. I don't want to spend any more time in this one because I do have loads more vegetables that I want to show you. I'm just going to slide them to the side. Now, carrots, as I said, if you want to grow competition carrots, I would recommend that you go to an allotment and speak to the expert carrot grower there, and he would give you, or she would give you, lots of tips on how to grow your beautiful competition worthy carrots. Care wise for us at home, watering them is really important while they're getting established. Once you can see the wee sort of orange tops of the carrot kind of peeking through the compost, you don't have to water them quite so much then. They still need water, but not the same amount. This level, this compost is really damp to touch. You can see how it's like sticking to my hands. A wee bit wetter than that is ideal for getting them established, and then a little bit drier than this for once they're actually growing. The one thing that carrots do get bothered by is something called carrot fly. And when you're handling your carrots, they can pick up the scent and they can smell it from, oh, I was going to say miles away, but it is something ridiculous, like up to half a mile away, they can smell carrots in the air. So one way of deterring carrot fly is to net it, but that's going to be extra work. And do you really want net all over your pots on the patio? Probably not, but netting does work. Or you can disguise the scent of the carrots by planting onions beside them, or I've got chives here. Chives are very closely related to onions, and they smell of onions. So this is a pot of chives that I am just going to take out its wee pot. Nice wee root system here. And I'm just going to dig myself a wee hole in the corner up here, deep enough for my root ball to pop into, slide it down, firm it in round about, putting the compost back round about it. I'll put my label in beside it, so if anyone visits and they wonder what it is, they know it's edible chives. And that scent, I mean, I actually quite like the smell of chives, will help deter any carrot fly attack. And of course, the chives themselves are delicious. Just chop them. Chives are perennial, they come back every year, so they really benefit from being chopped, like all herbs. The more you harvest your herb, the more it will make for you, and the lovely fresh leaf you'll get from it. If you don't harvest it, it goes to the leaves, and the shoots go woody and edible, and then it makes flowers, then it makes seed, and then the plant actually dies. So it's actually beneficial to keep on harvesting. So chives, I use lots of chives in my cooking, and as I say, over a salad, a couple of snips is perfect. And it's one way of elevating a cheese toastie. Just put some chives in it and you've got some fancy toastie that you would pay a fortune for elsewhere. So that's the start of my carrot box for out on my patio. I'm going to move it out.